Happy holidays. Want to give your host a gift? Consider subscribing, rating, and reviewing the show this holiday season. It really helps the show grow. From all of us at Believe, have a Merry Christmas, everyone, and a happy holiday.
Looking for these better days.
It is Wednesday, December 17th. I'm Scott Seidenberg. Here's what you need to know to make today a better day. The Knicks win the NBA Cup. We had a first quarter sweat and a potential quarterback change in Miami. Mackenzie Rivers joins me on this episode of Better Day, presented by FanDuel. And Mac, let's start with our first quarter sweat last night. For those who missed yesterday's episode or did not catch the newsletter that was emailed out yesterday morning, we gave out a play on Victor Wembanyama to go under 4.5 points in the first quarter. The thought process was he was going to be on a similar minutes restriction to what we saw in the semifinal game against the Oklahoma City Thunder. And in that game against the Oklahoma City Thunder, he did not play in the first quarter. He checked in the second quarter, and the sports books were still listing his first quarter props as if he was playing a normal allotment of minutes.
Or arguably tilted a little bit.
Sure.
If it it wasn't just like dumb algorithm. The minus 145 under 4.5 would be like, why is it so low in any other game? But how much they are accounting for it, we thought was a mistake.
Yes. And so we played it under 4.5. Later in the day yesterday, it went down to 3.5. And then it was taken off the board completely after it was publicly announced that Victor Wembanyama would not start the game last night against the New York Knicks, and his rotation would be similar to what we saw in the semifinal against Oklahoma City. So that was, I felt great. I felt great about our bet at that point, Mac. I'm like, he's not starting. He's probably not going to play until the second quarter because that's what Mitch Johnson said. He said, quote, "It'll look a lot like last game with Wemby coming off the bench." Wemby did play in the first quarter, Mac. And
7 minutes remaining in the first quarter, he makes his first appearance.
And not only that, he took a couple of shots in the first quarter. It was a sweat. It was an unnecessary sweat. He finished the first quarter with 2 points. So he goes under 4.5, goes under 3.5. We win our bet. But what an unnecessary sweat. He wound up playing like 4.5 minutes in that first quarter.
It comes with the territory. I was thinking all day about this bet. This was my one bet up on betterday.com. And I thought there was two possibilities. One, similar meant the same. It was the same rotation that was going to happen for Victor Wembanyama, meaning 0 minutes in the first quarter. And I actually thought, is that something that they would refund? Is that something like they would say, oh, well, he didn't play, like if he doesn't play the game, if he doesn't play at all in the first quarter? And I'm like, well, probably not, because he's going to be on the box score, so he's going to actually count towards his bet. However, it's rarely that easy to scoop a bet where you literally have zero sweat. So I'm like, maybe he comes in. The question is when. The fact that he came in with 7 minutes was surprising, but he played 5 minutes in the first quarter. And his prop was set like instead of 8 minutes in the first quarter, he was going to play 7.5. They barely made any adjustment. He was averaging 4.8 points per first quarter. He ends up with 4 points total in the first half. I mean, he's a player coming back from a long break. There's a lot of reasons to make this bet. And that's why we look for these opportunities, because you have a lot of outs. Obviously, it was a little sweatier than we expected. But I mean, that should have been minus 250. That was just a bad line by the sports books.
And I hope everyone took advantage of it when they could. I did give out the Knicks last night. I played the Knicks, and they won and they covered thanks to a monster fourth quarter, outscoring the Spurs 35-19 in that fourth quarter. The final score in the game last night was 124-113. And also, Mackenzie, our advice on how to bet this final could not have played out more perfectly. And that was, you can save the 20 cents or so. Now, we understand you don't pay the VIG when you win, but you could have saved yourself about 20 cents to 30 cents by betting Jalen Brunson to win the MVP as opposed to betting Knicks money line. Jalen Brunson scores 25 points last night, and he was named your most valuable player of the NBA Cup.
He's the best player on the team by far. They do not pose a championship threat without a top 10 player. And you could argue that they have none and Jalen Brunson should be 12, But if they are going to surprise to the upside, it's because Jalen Brunson is going to continue to do in the biggest games what he's done. He didn't have a most efficient night, but plus 15 on the court. Compare that to Victor Wembanyama, who was a game worst minus 18. One was clunky trying to fit in, and one is the system of the New York Knicks.
And, well, now the market is taking notice here. The Knicks will now get a banner that says NBA Cup Champions 2025. Let's go. Here are your current odds to win the NBA Finals up on FanDuel. The Oklahoma City Thunder are a minus 105 favorite.
Wow.
The Denver Nuggets at plus 750 are your second favorite. The Houston Rockets at plus 1,200 are your third favorite. And then the New York Knicks at plus 1,300 are your fourth favorite and the first team from the Eastern Conference to show up on this list. Next would be the Cleveland Cavaliers at plus 1,900. Do you agree with those odds, Mackenzie?
Mostly, kind of like when we went over the NBA Cup odds after, I think, around the quarterfinals. I was like, the Knicks have a lot of value because they have the best path to get there. And maybe they won't have to play the Thunder, or maybe they can do what the Pacers did, which is surprise the Thunder despite being an inferior team. The Nuggets have to play the Thunder. More importantly, they probably have to go to war with the Rockets before they play the Thunder. So the four of the top five favorites are from the West. I think the Knicks at 14-1. You'll be happy to have that in your pocket. Not scared of the Pistons. And I think the Cavs have dropped off, and they're not in the same tier as the Knicks this year.
I agree. And it's a better bet because of everything you just mentioned. Normally, you would say the better bet to make is the conference bet, right? Bet them to win the conference because then you don't have to worry about the NBA Finals, right? Well, they're plus 270 to win the Eastern Conference. The Cavs are plus 410, Pistons plus 500. But what you just said is the reason why betting them to win the NBA Finals is the better value because they're likely to run through the Eastern Conference as indicated by the odds of them to win the Eastern Conference. But then when they get to the finals, they're going up against a team that has had to now battle with multiple contenders in the Western Conference, whether the Thunder get by the Nuggets or the Rockets or the Lakers or the Spurs even. There's going to be more. It's going to be more of a grueling task to get to the NBA Finals from the Western Conference than the Knicks' path in the Eastern Conference. So, I mean, there could be a situation where maybe the Knicks are waiting around for a game one of the NBA Finals.
Yeah, I always thought this in the 2016 finals that 2-3-1 leads were blown in those playoffs. One, the Thunder versus the Warriors. Warriors come all the way back. And then the Cavs versus the Warriors. I don't think the Cavs come back versus the Warriors if the Warriors hadn't played that Western Conference Finals gauntlet. I thought there was 3 teams that were great that year, and 2 of them had to play 2 series. One of them only had to play 1 series, and they were the champions.
No, it's a great point. We have just 2 games on your schedule for tonight in the association. The Chicago Bulls host the Cleveland Cavaliers. Cleveland, a 5.5-point road favorite up on FanDuel right now. And the Timberwolves hosting the Grizzlies. Minnesota, a 7.5-point favorite up on FanDuel. Any of those jump off the screen to you, Mackenzie?
It's been a good fade of the Bulls since I told you they were the worst 5-0 team in history. That said, it's not been a good time for my bets with the Cleveland Cavaliers, where I continue to downgrade them, but still think they're underrated in the market. But I would look at them in this game.
Okay, all right. It's just a short schedule, obviously a much bigger schedule on Thursday. Let me ask you something. With the games that are coming up tomorrow, would you consider fading the Knicks, who play in Indiana against the Pacers, after getting this NBA Cup victory? Would you consider fading the Thunder, even though, I mean, they did lose on Saturday, so they had plenty of time to go back home and relax? Would you consider fading the Spurs, who host the Wizards, even though the Wizards are terrible, coming off of the finals appearance here against the Knicks? Like, how would you handle those teams?
I think the Spurs would be the one to fade because they are a team that is kind of more than the sum of their parts, and it's kind of the energy and the momentum, and they feel like they would have a huge adrenaline dump after losing that final. The Knicks playing the Pacers might relish that opportunity to get some revenge. And the Thunder, like you said, they'll have revenge on their minds too, and they've had a little more time off.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm thinking, maybe it's the Knicks, and maybe we fade the Knicks and the Spurs, the 2 teams that played in the final on Tuesday night, coming up tomorrow in their games on Thursday. All right, that'll wrap up the NBA conversation. We did sweep the board last night For Better Day Insiders, Better Day Premium members, we did have the 2 NBA wins with the Knicks winning the game and covering, and also the Wemby under in the first quarter. We did sweep our 2 hockey plays last night. We went with the team total to go under at plus money, plus 125 odds on the Capitals. Team total to go under 2.5. They got shut out by the Minnesota Wild. So 0 goals, Mackenzie, is under 2.5. So that was a nice cash for us there. And then we went over 1.5 goals in the first period between the San Jose Sharks and the Calgary Flames. It was 3-2 Sharks after the first period. So 5 goals goes over 1.5 goals. We also saw a fun game in Pittsburgh last night. I got a little betting FOMO, only because I just wanted to have a piece of this game. If I was going to place a bet, it was going to be on the over, and I missed out. It was 6-4 Oilers when it was all said and done. The reason why this was a fun matchup is because the starting goaltenders for both teams last night were just traded for each other last week. So Tristan Jarry traded from the Penguins to the Oilers, got the start last night for the Oilers.
Who is considered better? Why would they make this seemingly lateral trade?
Yeah, I think it was.
Is it debatable? Are there fans on each side of the goalie?
It was time to move on from Stuart Skinner, I think. And Jarry, who's a little bit older, did play in the Oilers, AHL system, or he had some. He's from. I mean, they're both Canadian guys, but he has played in the Oilers system before, so they're familiar with him. I don't know. I just felt like, yeah, it could be considered an even swap, but I'm sure
obviously both of them should be traded again.
Yeah,
6-4.
So they started against each other. It was hilarious. I wanted to bet the over just for comedy's sake, but but yeah, it was.
Who's greater all time, Connor McDavid or Sid the Kid?
I mean, we still have 10 more years of McDavid.
All right, win a ring. Win something. We'll talk. I'm gonna be a Crosby backer on this.
Hey, that Four Nations face-off. The Four Nations face-off was very big for him, and if Canada wins the gold medal in the Olympics this year, it'll be even better for him. Although you could say the same thing. You could say those wins are Crosby's wins also, right?
Is Crosby still going? He isn't retired from the international?
Of course he's going to be on Team Canada. I mean, he's like the legend. He's how could he not be? Right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, of course.
The highest priority game of their lives is the Olympics.
For some of these guys, it means more, than the Stanley Cup.
At least on level. Oh yeah, all right.
I mean, for some of these guys, country is everything. Yeah, it's gonna be
Scott,
fun.
He'd be like,
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
You know what I can't wait to. Oh, by the way, last night, let's see, last night Sidney Crosby had how many points did he have? He had 1 assist. Ooh, okay,
that's a point.
So he is still 1 point behind Mario Lemieux for the most points in Penguins franchise history. So. Wow. Crosby, he came into last night 2 behind Lemieux, and so he got 1 point. So he is 1 behind Lemieux. And yes, Crosby and Connor McDavid were both named to Team Canada's preliminary roster for the Olympic Games coming up.
Mario Lemieux, 915 games. Come on, Sidney Crosby, 1,383 games.
Yeah.
Mario Lemieux, I think, is still highest points per game ever. I remember, they would put him and Gretzky up side by side.
I mean... yeah, it's the great one, the marvelous one. Yeah, I mean, of course. By the way, speaking of hockey, we are 10 days away now from the start of the World Junior Championship. I love betting the World Juniors. People look at me like I'm crazy, where it's like you're betting under 18, hockey tournament, Scott. And I'm like, yeah, you know why? Because there's NFL going on. There's NBA starting on Christmas. There's regular NHL, college football playoffs. The sports books on December 26th are not worried about the IIHF World Junior Championships. And so these markets have just been extremely beatable every single year. It's unbelievable how, they just don't know how to price these lines. So I am very excited to be betting on this. I can tell you right now that Team Canada's roster is absolutely loaded, okay? The Sharks actually just gave permission for Michael Misa, one of their top draft picks, to go and play in the World Juniors. So he is, I mean, he's incredible, this kid. So that's a big boost to them. They have, they are dealing with a situation, Mackenzie, where they didn't medal last year. And then I took that personally. And they took that personally, okay? And there was a lot going on with Hockey Canada with some legal issues and some bad publicity that hockey fans will know about that has been cleared up now. But this, I think they want this tournament. Like, they are revamping the entire program. They've put together a roster now of some of the best young players in the world.
It's the Redeem Team.
It feels like it. It feels like the Redeem Team. Yeah, it does. So when the books release the odds, once the rosters are finalized, the tournament begins. Preliminary round on December 26th. We'll be betting a lot of Team Canada. The United States, by the way, they're trying to become the first team to win 3 straight in, I think ever. And the tournament is on U.S. soil this year. It's in Minnesota. How about that?
Minnesota.
Yeah, it might as well be Canada. So,
yeah.
So
have you been to Minnesota? No one's ever been to Minnesota. There was one Super Bowl there. People didn't even know where to go out once they got off the airplane.
Yeah, yeah. But it's in Minneapolis and St. Paul, by the way. So 2 locations in the Twin Cities, if you will. Okay, Mackenzie, it is week 16 of the NFL season. Let's talk Trench Report. Week 16 in the NFL, and it is a Wednesday morning, which means the release of the weekly Trench Report. Every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, emailed out to Better Day Insider and Premium members, as well as posted up on BetterDay.com. Just click on the NFL tab or click on the Research tab, and you will get access to the Trench Report, again, for Better Day Insider and Premium members. We like to give a little bit of a teaser here on the pod. We don't give everything away now, but we do give a little bit of a teaser. So, Mac, here's what I'm going to do, much like I've been doing the past couple of weeks, is I'm going to go over the biggest movers from week 15 to week number 16. Let's start with the biggest offensive line improvements in my scoring system from week 15 to week 16. The number 1 biggest offensive line improvement, the Tennessee Titans. Number 2, Philadelphia Eagles. Number 3, the Patriots. Number 4, the Cardinals. And number 5, the Bills. Any reaction to the top offensive line improvements from week 15 to week 16?
The Bills interest me. I feel like they should be favorites for the AFC. I'm wondering, that's the offensive line improvement. All right,
Yep.
I guess I'd want to see some more improvement from their defense to be more sure about that AFC bet.
Well, here's your top offensive line declines from week 15 to week 16. The biggest decline, the Green Bay Packers, followed by the Dallas Cowboys, Detroit Lions, Kansas City Chiefs, and Carolina Panthers, Mac.
Kansas City Chiefs, man, 5 weeks ago, metrically, when they went to Buffalo 5-3, they were as good as any team. And a lot of their stats, they've been, top 7, top 10, keeping up that. But offensively, 10 points versus Houston. Okay, they're a great defense. 0 points in the second half versus the Chargers, 13 in the game. Even before Mahomes went out, it felt like there was something airy in the building, and just nothing was working. With Minshew, do we think anything starts working and starts clicking?
No.
I see an under. But if they weren't playing Tennessee, I would expect them to lose after their dreams have been crushed.
Yep. Top defensive line improvements from week 15 to week 16. The Chargers, Bears, Chiefs, Broncos, and Saints. Top
we cashed with the Chargers team total under because the Chiefs defense is still playing well. Probably maybe better than they have at any point this season.
And the top defensive line declines from week 15 to week 16. Patriots, Lions, 49ers, Bills, and Browns.
I've heard too many conversations from Seahawks fans about how terrible their team is despite the win and how good the Patriots are despite the loss. I don't understand it. They haven't played anybody. They played one good team at home. They had a 21-point lead. They gave up 35 straight points or whatever. Their defense was as bad as we expected if they would have played anybody good this whole season. And people are like, oh, wow, they really showed us something. Man, they only lost by 4. It was a pick'em game. Improvement, downgrade for the Patriots. We need to wake up to that.
Well, speaking of the 49ers, Mackenzie, here's a little bit of a trivia. So I have done a little.
Jeff Garcia.
No. I haven't done a little research. The AI has done a little bit of research.
Is the AI with us in the room now?
I can get it here. If you just give me a moment.
It's right around the corner.
Just give me a moment.
Hi, Siri.
All right. So the AI, Mackenzie, has compiled a compilation of the most spoken word on this podcast.
Ooh, now that is an interesting study.
And here it is. 49ers,
49ers, 49ers, 49ers,
49ers, 49ers,
49ers, 49ers,
49ers, 49ers,
Niners, Niners, Niners,
49ers, 49ers. There you have it. So I said, because of the 40, I said I wanted to, reference 49ers. And yes, the 49ers was the number one most spoken thing that we did here in 2025. How crazy is that?
That is crazy. I mean, I don't feel like they're the number one most prominent team. I would have guessed we talked Cowboys more and Rams more, but I guess I tie everything to my fandom of the 49ers.
Yeah, I guess,
and as well as you.
Like, what did we say? Like, I have no idea. Like,
right, I don't feel like we had a lot of hot takes on the Niners.
No, it's very strange. It's very, very strange. But I guess we did talk about the 49ers.
I feel like I've used the often, but maybe I don't.
There was a lot of ums for sure. There was a lot of ums, yes. Let's speak about the 49ers here, Mackenzie, because
let us speak
because their game comes up on Monday Night Football against Phillip Rivers and the Indianapolis Colts. And according to the Trench Report, no, this is not one of the top 5 biggest mismatches of the week. This is not one of the closest matchups of the week. But according to the Trench Report, the Indianapolis Colts have an edge over the 49ers.
That makes sense. I mean, the Niners have been gashed on the ground. They're a bend-and-not Drake defense, and they bend an awful lot since Fred Warner went down. So I'm guessing the Colts, with a former Offensive Player of the Year favorite, Jonathan Taylor, would have an advantage on their offensive line versus our defensive line.
And that is what it says. It says actually, you know what's interesting too? Is that the run, I feel like it's very close. It's not one of the closest ones, but the 49ers also have a good run advantage over the Colts defense.
Yeah, Colts defense is no good.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, this could be a game where, and it's Monday. We'll talk about Monday when we get to Monday, but according to the Trench Report, both of these teams should be able to run on each other.
And we talked about Shane Steichen saying we wanted to win a game, 21-17.
Yeah.
Play a low possession game, low total. Maybe 46.5 is pretty high. The Niners have been scoring a lot recently.
Yeah. But the Colts did come in as one of the top 5 rushing mismatch of the week. And the 49ers did not, but they just barely did not. Like, the number 5 rushing mismatch of the week, Mackenzie, is a 41.7 point difference, and the edge for the 49ers is 41. So I would say
it's tied for 5.
Exactly.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5.
It just barely missed the top 5 rushing mismatch for the grading system. The Colts rushing edge over the Niners in my grading system was 47.1. So second biggest rushing mismatch.
And you might say, why am I thinking under? Because it's all about pace. In the NBA, like in the NFL, you can have a very successful offense that plays unders just because of the style that they're playing. And I think that style is what we see. So obviously it's better to get a punt. But if you get a field goal after 10 plays in 8 minutes, that's just as good.
Let me read you the top 5 in pass blocking, pass rush, and run defense, according to the Week 16 Trench Report. Your number 1 pass blocking team in the NFL is now the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I think a lot of that has to do with not just I think a lot of the offensive line numbers look good because Aaron Rodgers gets rid of the ball so quickly. And so, but then again, it's not so much.
I mean, did the Jets' offensive line look good last year?
No. See, that's the thing, though. Again, it's not like win rates and stuff are accounted for the blocking up front. So it's not just about like the Aaron Rodgers getting the ball out of his hands quickly. Like Aaron Rodgers getting the ball out of his hands quickly is going to help your sack numbers, but like that's like minuscule into what we're talking about here as far as the grading is concerned. We're talking player grades. We're talking about a blocking win versus the player that's rushing against you. Well, right now, the Steelers, the number one pass blocking offensive line in the NFL. Your number one run blocking line in the NFL, and this has been the same for
Buffalo.
several weeks right now, is the Los Angeles Rams.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, absolutely elite. And then, once again, your number one pass rush defensive line and your number one run stuff defensive line is the same team, the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns. The team that shows up in, let's see, the Denver Broncos show up in 3 of the 4 categories in the top 5. They're the number 2 pass blocking line, the number 2 pass rush line, and the number 3 run stuff line. So the Broncos, they show up in 3 of the lists. Let's see.
Does anybody show up in more than 3?
Well, let's see. In the top 5?
Yeah.
No, I think that's it. Steelers show up as the number 1 pass blocking unit and the number 4 pass rush unit.
Okay.
So they show up. They show up in 2. The Kansas City Chiefs, no, they're only in 1 here. The Bills show up in 2 of them. The Bills are the number 4 pass blocking line and the number 2 run stuff line.
Okay.
Run block line.
Okay,
run block. Yeah. The Bears show up in multiple ones. The Bears are the number 5 pass blocking, number 4 run blocking.
Okay, but both offense, so that kind of tracks with what we think of the Bears.
Yes. And then let's see. Rams, as I mentioned, show up in 2 of them. Rams are the number 1 run blocking. They're the number 2 run stuff.
Okay, the win in the trenches.
Let
me ask you, do the Lions show up at all? Because they were a team with heavy offensive line turnover.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted to bring their center back.
Well, again,
I'm thinking they might be a fade team down the stretch.
Well, again, a couple of weeks ago, maybe they were in the top 5, but they are not in the top 5 of any category right now.
Yeah, I think they.
And the Lions
the Bears or the Lions are going to miss the playoffs. I kind of want to fade both teams down the stretch.
The Lions were the number 3 biggest offensive line decline and the number 2 defensive line decline this week.
Yeah, they lost by 7 versus the Rams. A lot. Kevin Cole said it should have been 2 touchdowns. PFF said it should have been 12 points. Maybe they looked better on the final scoreboard than they actually were with that near pick 6.
Seahawks show up in both defensive metrics. They are the number 3 pass rush D-line and the number 4 run stuff D-line. And let's see, that's it for the multiple appearances. So it's really the Broncos are the best trench team in the NFL. They're top 5 in 3 categories.
I don't know if I trust Bo Nix to win a Super Bowl, but to get to one, I'm starting to become a believer.
Who else is we talked about this before. The Bills are the only
Bills
team.
Bills or the Broncos. If I could get them versus the rest of the AFC field, I'd feel pretty good.
Like the Bills are the only team that would be favored going to Denver in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Right now up on FanDuel, to win the AFC, the Broncos plus 310, the Bills plus 370.
So if I bet both of them, I technically, but it'd be such a small edge, and then I could obviously get scooped with an injury, or maybe the Jaguars.
Yeah. Well, yeah, then you have the Patriots plus 500, Texans plus 600,
no way.
Jags plus 700, Chargers plus 950, Steelers 22-1.
You're telling me there's a chance.
Ravens 10-1.
Wow. So the Ravens are 50% or twice as likely to win it makes sense. I think a lot of people would agree with that.
By the way, Phillip Rivers still the second favorite to win the comeback player of the year. I still have an open casting call. If anybody would like to bet Phillip Rivers to be the comeback player of the year,
will you give them market odds? Or better?
I'll give them better than market odds.
If you're gonna bet that bet it with Better Day.
It's free money. It's like free money for me. It's amazing.
We'll give you a founding member placard. We'll make it nice for you.
This is the best. This is the best free money. This is the one time, I thought about I wish I had my own sports book, right? It'd be nice to be a bookie and just steal everybody's money. No, I'm not a cockroach, but this is the one time where I'm like, man, it's good to be the king. How much money do you think they've taken on this? For them to,
It's
for the
been a pretty
sportsbooks to-
popular news story. It's kind of like what people want to be talking about, betting on, thinking about.
That's what I'm saying. For the sportsbooks to put this up and move him to the second favorite, that's got to tell you that some people are betting this.
Right.
And I mean, it's free money for the sportsbook. It's free money. It's amazing. It's amazing. But hey, listen, the guy played one game and he wasn't even good, and they lost. And there's only 3 games left in the regular seasons. I mean, we're gonna name it comeback player of the year. So stupid.
Yeah, give me the no.
Christian
on
McCaffrey.
that.
What a bet. What a bet that was before the season started. And just don't burn me now.
What'd you get? 15-1?
No, he was the favorite.
Yeah.
He was the favorite before
Him
the
and Dak
season.
were always contending.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I did bet McCaffrey to be offensive player of the year too, but that's not
Okay,
happening.
that's what maybe I was.
Yeah. I mean, he's 40-1 right now if you want to take a shot on him, but no.
What's
That's
Tua?
To win what?
I don't know. Be the starter this year. What do you think? Be the starter
Well,
this week.
might as well, before we wrap things up, let's talk about that. Mike McDaniel said that they're open to a quarterback change, so everything's on the table. Do we think that Tua gets benched? I mean, the
Dust
season's
off your
over.
Zach Wilson rookie cards, ladies and gentlemen.
No, it's going to be Quinn Ewers.
Oh, really?
Right? It's got to be Quinn Ewers. Why would you start Dak? Why would you start Zach Wilson?
He's second on the depth chart. I mean, what Quinn Ewers is?
You got the rookie.
I guess he's Brock Purdy, ready 2.0, 7th round pick.
That's what I'm saying. Like, don't you want to see what you have in the rook? Right?
Yeah, if
You
the
put him
Jets are
out
playing
there?
Brady Cook, you're not really incentivized to win. I do think, I'm not sure who it's going to be. I do not think Tua is going to be, from listening to the press conference, is going to be the starter. He said everything, but we'll let you know tomorrow. The quarterback play wasn't good enough. I think he was heavily signaling. The market has reacted. I'm not sure it's enough. Now the Bengals are 2.5-point road favorites at Miami.
Yep. Yeah. Quinn Ewers time, baby. Let's go. Let's
Texas.
go. The full Trends Report is available up on BetterDay.com, emailed out to Better Day Insider and Premium members, as it is each and every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. We will give you the information on our live stream coming up here this weekend. I want to do something before the college football playoff games coming up here this weekend. So we'll get a college analyst on so you guys can ask some of the questions here. And we might actually open up a live stream to insider members as well. We've been doing it for our premium members. Maybe Mac and I will do one for the insider members, so you guys can all participate in a live stream and a chat prior to the kickoff of some NFL games this weekend. So we'll get back to you on that, make all the announcements that we have to make up on the website and in the newsletter as well. Always hit us up on social media, and here's hoping you make today and every day a better day.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening. Happy holidays! Want to give your host a gift? Consider subscribing, rating, and reviewing the show this holiday season. It really helps the show grow. From all of us at Believe, have a Merry Christmas, everyone, and a Happy Holiday.